The Russian ruling elite fears that Russians will perceive US President Donald Trump as a strong leader capable of changing the situation, while Russian dictator Vladimir Putin will be perceived as a weaker politician. That's why the Kremlin has instructed Russian state and pro-government media to portray the phone call between Trump and Putin as a diplomatic victory for the Kremlin, according to analysts at the US-based Institute for the Study of War, ISW. The Russian outlet Meduza reported that the Kremlin instructed Russian state and pro-government media to cover the February the 12th phone call between Trump and Putin as Putin's initiative and victory, and to mention Trump's name less often in their coverage of the call and other events. The ISW report noted, the Kremlin fears that Russians may begin to perceive Trump as a more decisive and active leader than Putin. For this reason, propaganda outlets have been instructed to emphasize Putin's role as the main initiator of the talks. Previously, the Russian information space portrayed Trump as a pragmatic leader with whom Russia can work. However, the Kremlin may be trying to negatively change the Russian public's perception of Trump in order to highlight Putin's strength and power amid reports of possible future peace talks, ISW analysts noted. Trump announced on February the 12th that he had spoken with Putin and that their first in-person meeting would take place in Saudi Arabia as part of efforts to negotiate an end to Russia's war against Ukraine. The extent of Ukrainian involvement in these talks remain unclear. Chinese officials have proposed arranging a summit between US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin, but the idea has been met with skepticism, the Wall Street Journal reported. According to the publication, Beijing made the offer through intermediaries, suggesting a US-Russian summit without Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenski's participation. The White House declined to confirm whether it had received China's proposal, but dismissed it as not viable at all, according to a US official quoted by the Wall Street Journal.
Border Patrol agents scoured the Rio Grande River early Thursday on the lookout for migrants crossing into the United States from Mexico. The Associated Press was invited to join the agents and witness the ongoing efforts to seal the border to migrants entering illegally. South Texas was the busiest corridor for illegal crossings from 2013 to 2022. It became one of the quieter ones well before President Donald Trump took office last month, and now it is even quieter, as witnessed by the Associated Press. Since President Donald Trump took office, immigrants in the U.S. illegally have changed their travel patterns and the places they go to, out of fear they could be deported. The White House has said that over 8,000 immigrants who were in the country illegally have been arrested since Trump's inauguration on January 20th. ICE averaged 787 arrests a day from January 23 to January 31, compared with a daily average of 311 during a 12-month period ended September 30 during the Biden administration.
The activity has gone down. I mean, it had been down for a while. It has dropped some, and there's many different reasons for that. I mean, it can be the consequence delivery that is happening. The message gets back to the people in their countries. It could be the Mexican, their border patrol, the NAMI and them, strengthening their forces and doing more, being more vigilant on their borders, the southern border, and it looks like now they're going to start the northern border as well. The process really hasn't changed. I mean, it's Title 8's been around for decades, but there seems there's more attention on it right now. Of course, deportations have happened. I mean, for many decades. But the process is, once they're apprehended, of course, biometrics are ran on them to see if they've either had reciprocity, like they've been caught crossing before, or maybe if they do have a criminal background, or have warrants either in the United States or in their home country. And so there's no easy button for how they're processed. Everyone's processed according to their immigration status. The RGV has been the epicenter for alien activity was for 8-9 years, and then everything changed and went to the Del Rio sector, and that's when we saw thousands of people under the bridge out there. And after that, it switched towards El Paso, and then after that, it switched to Tucson. And and the shifts they happen, and the shifts, we don't control the shift, the cartels control the shift of where they're going to start sending them. These aliens they don't have any say in where they cross. They cross wherever the smugglers tell them to cross.
A car hit a union demonstration in central Munich on Thursday, injuring at least 28 people including children, authorities said. According to Associated Press, authorities said it was believed to be an attack, and a suspect, an Afghan asylum seeker, was arrested. Speaking earlier, Bernhard Peschke, from Munich's fire brigade, gave a lower figure of at least 20 injured, adding, "We can't rule out the danger to life for some of them." Participants in a demonstration by the Service Workers Union Ver.D were walking along a street near downtown Munich at about 10:30 a.m. when the car overtook a police vehicle following the gathering and hit into the back of the group. Officers arrested a suspect after firing a shot at the car, Deputy Police Chief Christian Huber said. He added that at least 28 people were believed to be injured, some of them seriously. A damaged Mini could be seen at the scene, along with debris including shoes. The suspect was a 24-year-old Afghan asylum seeker, Huber said. Bavarian Governor Markus Söder told reporters at the scene it was a suspected attack. The incident follows a series of attacks involving immigrants in recent months that have pushed migration to the forefront of the campaign for Germany's February 23 election. Most recently, a 2-year-old boy and another person were killed in a knife attack in Aschaffenburg, also in Bavaria. The Bavarian capital will see heavy security in the coming days because the 3-day Munich Security Conference, an annual gathering of international foreign and security policy officials, opens on Friday. Bavaria's State Interior Minister, Joachim Herrmann, said authorities do not believe the incident was connected to the conference, but they still need to determine the motive.